to kindly deliver the welcome address.
A very good evening to one and all present here. I, on behalf of EcoFriends, would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of us. EcoFriends was founded by Mr. Avinash Madala, our CEO and founder president in 2009, and was strongly supported by our co-founders Viraj and Parvesh Patel, who joined EcoFriends in 2011. Gracing today's occasion, we have the co-founder of EcoFriends, Mr. Parvesh Patel, who was one of the major supports in our initial stages of the organization. And the Vice President of EcoFriends, Mr. Rahul Khode. We would like to present both of them with a token of our appreciation. Also present with us today are our distinguished representatives of our associated organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, as I call your names, I request you to please come to the center so that you can be presented with our tokens of appreciation. We have Ms. Siddhi Venkade, founder of Pune Gokuli. Mrs. Purnima Joshi from Kalyani Residents Association. Mrs. Renu Bhardwaj from Soropoulos. Mr. Avinash Madala, founder of VIEW. Last, but far from the least, we have our teachers and parents whose unwavering support and encouragement made today's event possible. I now hand over to our moderators for the evening, Sahil Sethi and Arjun Sharma, who will be conducting the rest of the event. Thank you and have a nice evening.
Thank you, Prithvi. Some important instructions to be taken care of at all times. The speakers may speak in English and Hindi, English being the primary language.
Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to speak on his or her respective topic.
2 minutes will be allotted for doubts or suggestions. In these 2 minutes, anyone from the audience or the speakers can raise their hands for the same.
In the question and answer session, all questions and replies are to be framed in parliamentary language.
Audience is requested not to use mobile phones but to talk amongst themselves during the course of the event.
No sort of misbehavior will be tolerated, and any person in violation of this rule will be asked to be politely immediate.
Silence is to be maintained throughout the speeches. Please keep your phones on silent mode.
Speakers and guests, members and everyone else in the hall, please use the stairs on either sides of the stage if you need to go. Please do not cross over, as the entire seminar will be video recorded and your movement may cause a hindrance. The topic under discussion this evening: environmentalism and its widespread interdisciplinary nature.
We have gathered here today to give impetus to the idea of environmental conservation at grassroots level.
However, environmentalism cannot be restricted to any particular department or stream. It is interdisciplinary in nature.
Its scope consists of science, economy, and the arts. And the biggest challenge the world will face is, in the next few years, is basically to get people from all streams to work together.
Today, we all sit not as an audience, but as environmentalists to enrich our knowledge on how to conserve nature by being patient listeners, exchanging ideas, and suggesting and giving good suggestions.
With that, we would now like to introduce our first speaker of the evening.
Hi everyone, my name is Liz Mills and I am the student body president at the University of Iowa. The University of Iowa, under my term, wants to become an even more sustainable campus. Akash, as well as many other students, help us run on specific platform ideas that can help the university overall. One of those is composting at the University of Iowa. Right now, we do not have a system in place in order to make sure that food waste is taken care of properly, and we want to make sure that students have that resource. So we're proposing creating a system of compost bins on different walkways on our campus, making sure that students have access to composting, recycling, and minimal waste resources. Another thing we want to look into is the plastic and the packaging that the university uses. A lot of products that we buy and the companies that we buy them from are not sustainable in their practices on using plastic bags and other waste materials. We want to have conversations with the university officials as well as those companies to make sure that things like styrofoam and plastic bags are used very minimally. One last initiative that we have in order to make the University of Iowa the most sustainable it can be is eliminating the waste in the residence halls. Right now, students, it's a cafeteria style, so the food left on their trays they have to throw out. We're proposing that students are allowed to take that food back to their residence halls after they're done eating to make sure that they can keep eating the food and not letting it go to waste. We would use recycled materials in order to provide them containers in order to do this. So those are just a couple things that we want to do at Iowa. Congratulations EcoFriends on a successful 6 years in promoting eco-friendly resources and materials in India. And I hope that you are having a successful convention. Bye!
We have a technical glitch at the moment. They will get fixed in a moment. We will, by that time, move on to our next speaker, who was Avinash Madala. I request Sahid to kindly introduce him.
Up next, we have Mr. Avinash Madala, the founder of View, who will talk about the joint restoration project that EcoFriends and View will take up in the coming years.
Good evening, everyone. And I'm Avinash Madala, I think Sahid introduced me. So yeah, this is View. View has been started 2 years ago. Most of us are just students. So I have to speak today about what we have done till now and what we will be doing in the future. So how many of us have been here in the previous seminar? I think, yeah, very few from last time. So in the previous seminar, I was there speaking about an idea that is having multiple widespread flash mobs throughout the city of Pune. And we had a pretty successful event and we had worked along with EcoFriends. So, excuse me, next slide, please. So these are a few images of how the platform went on. We had various places where people needed to know what exactly was happening to our river. That is, the majority river. There are other rivers in Pune, but the Rumana river, what was happening to it. So just a flash mob with a nice dance and a street play stating what exactly we need to do to it. And there was a very good response. Like many people came to speak to us after that. We had many people who said we could help you out in many ways, and that way we increased our branches throughout the city. Now, today I want to speak about the JM Road project. How many of us over here has been to JM Road? JM Road in Pune? Decade? Yes. So JM Road, Jangli Maharaj Road, is a very famous road in Pune. So it's neater and cleaner than the many other roads in Pune. there are a few things. Can you have a look at the envelope, please? Yeah. So, general. Now, like look at this footpath, for example. Like this is the pavement PMC. Suppose there's a shop like Pizza Hut or Louis Philippe or Allen Solly. They generally ask the PMC politely, can we have a footpath, please footpath instead of this patchy one? And the PMC is like, okay, maybe when the next corporate comes in, we put in the proposal. So they just lose patience, they put in some money from the pocket and get a nice expensive footpath for themselves. This is a pretty good thing if they would have done it for the whole road, but obviously they wouldn't be doing that. So what happens is, even if patches are beautiful, it's still patches and it looks random. So that is just one of the cases. Like suppose that the wall, so like sitting there, that wall, it's like they're all patched up. Like some are broken, some are extremely well painted. Or for example, these trees over here, they have these, you can say boundaries to prevent the footpath to get eroded because of the roots, because of the tidal pressure and stuff like that. So imagine if we could basically renovate this road, rebuild it into something that the rest of the city, the rest of the people of the city respect it. Like make it a hangout place, a tourist center for outsiders, make it a very beautiful place. So people would be like, this thing is just too good for it to be true. Because there are a lot of PMC issues and a lot of political pressures. What will be put on the road? Even if we put it, will it be there? What about the funds? So, without problems, nothing can actually come out to be true. Can we go to the next slide, please? The objective of this thing is, how about we get the general public of the city? The general public, as in the youth, the tired people, the housewives, because the working class, our moms and dads, they mostly won't have time to come in for this project. They might help us mentally and give us some suggestions, but it's more of the young children, the school children, the youth who go to college, the retired people, because they have because of their extreme experience, or the housewives who have a lot of talent in them, which they usually don't get to use. So these are the people who will be working for this project. How do we do it? Is basically we rebuild something out of nothing, out of randomness. We build something that has a theme, that is beautiful, where professionals will be helping us. At the same time, the public will be involved. So when the public is involved, we believe in them because we have put our efforts. Let us take an example. Say an XYZ Avinash started by the government. For example, the people involved in it are us. The people who are already in the social work category, the ecologists, the politicians, the celebrities. But the general public, the common man, still feels he cannot go out on the road and do something for the society. Or if he doesn't need to go out on the road and do something for the society. But this project will ensure that happens more because everyone will be having a personal gain towards it. The reason I think we have these seminars is so that we all can combine hands and get things to work out. This project is just to ask for me to explain everything on stage right now. Last time we had a very successful collaboration with EcoFriends for the previous small workshops we had, and it was very successful. We'll be collaborating with them in the future. Any other organizations who would be interested would be a great help for us because we can work in as a team. Because this project, it needs a lot of effort, not manpower specifically, because once the thing starts moving, it goes to the next station. But the starting of the train is the most difficult thing. So, these are a few concepts. These are very random concepts, something that, maybe I felt we also just have a look at so we can think what. Like suppose there's a footpath and there's an open manhole. So you just put something like this, where people would firstly notice the manhole, and secondly, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? If a man peeping out of a manhole, or go to the next one, please. Suppose there's a panel wall. We paint it, and if we paint it with something creative like Pune, we paint So these are just random concepts which are pretty good. We just improvised over here. Next. Again, concepts. This like trees, you just have some random structures around the trees, the theme based basically. The theme we chose was Indian cultural history. So it will be according to the theme. These are like the holes and the trees you just painted or something you just created but small. Next. Again, the same thing, like where people can just hang out and have some fun. A lot of stalls could be there, and there's something like a Wednesday where there's some flea market or something over there once we're done with our project, something like that. This is just a garbage dump. That was a tree trunk initially, which was converted into a crocodile. I mean, that's how far imagination can go. I mean, out of nowhere, you just see a tree trunk and it has teeth and you're like, oh. So, this is just random statistics and people still have doubts as to will we be able to do it? Like out of 8 million people, this is a random number. 65% of the population of Pune is the young people. And that's the very reason why this project will be a success. Because getting people, our generation, to do something passionate for the society is not a very difficult task unless they feel it's worth it. And I sincerely feel this is worth it. So that's about it. Any questions anyone wants to ask? Okay, so that's it for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Madala. Our next speaker this evening is Mrs. Purnima Joshi from KNRA, that is the Kalyaninagar Residents Association, who will talk about the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and how EcoFriends and KNRA have and will work together to implement the same.
Good evening. Can I have the first slide? Sorry? Absolute pleasure to be here and honor that the Swachh Bharat group of Kalyaninagar has been recognized. It's an informal group, but the fact that it's been recognized to come and make a representation here itself is very big thing. So thank you so much. Avinash Madala. How it all began. The Swachh Bharat, in fact, the Swachh Abhiyan before it became all of Bharat. From the 3-year-old EcoFriends and now 29-year-old KNRA, we got together in December 2012. There was a young, this was sometime in mid-December 2012, when a young group armed with black garbage bags called up Sheila Christian and asked her, what part of Kalyaninagar can we clean? Because it's our mission to clean up Pune, and we decided to come to Kalyaninagar and clean it up. Sheila just invited Akash and his team to me, and that's where we can. Do you recognize some of these faces up there? This is Akash. This is Akash. This is Dr. I think. This is Shani. This is Shri. This is Vaishnavi. So, this was when we completed the magazine of France. Next slide, please. This is how, between Jan and Feb, we cleaned different parts of Kalyaninagar. EcoFriends and group came and get us to work that Kalyaninagar Residents Association did. And you can see how the youngest member is the one that worked very supportive and most enthusiastic work. So, members of Kalyaninagar, residents of Kalyaninagar and EcoFriends together cleaned up this, and then began a great team. Yes, this is balancing ground scheme. But yes, I mean, it's not a fairy tale, it's not happy about. I cannot show you what's very many activist groups, key segregationists want to come represent. So to give you, the Kalinagar is a much better, more has more aware people, and we won the first container-free zone in Pune. Have you seen the container right outside your gate? Have you seen that? It's a garbage dump, and that's an ugly sight. That's an ugly sight all over Pune. Kalinagar we have two such containers, and we made sure we got rid of them because they are spots where people dump Lexicon, and Don Bosco. We got the traffic police to come, the DCP traffic came and spoke to residents, discussed issues with them, which was fundraising at that time. When road safety awareness drive, so we actually stood there with placards, physical placards that we had. We had about 18 to 20 placards of different kinds, and we stood there, so like flash mobs, but this was just wooden placards at different intersections wherever people were walking or driving down at the traffic light. We stood there for about a couple of hours at different busy intersections to tell people about following traffic rules, etc., etc. Next slide, please. Okay, we've been doing a lot of, we've been trying to get residents to also support us on different campaigns, like the Golding campaign. That's Vishal Manji, who conducted a grow organic workshop, and these young kids, they said, say no to crackers, so just free Diwali. Then Sumita Kejriwal, who organized, in fact, for several weeks, she did this organic waste, converting organic waste to tissue compost. She's doing a demo out here. All these are done at the time when we collect e-waste. So we have our e-waste bins, people are coming in, they're looking at it, and alongside we also, we only have people, we also tell them about other things, about organic waste converting and other things. Okay. So Kalyani Nagar, then now the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. After Narendra Modi, he gave the clarion call to clean up the country. That helped us. We were already doing all of this, but the fact that Narendra Modi came and said this, it gave us a lot more muscle. And Rotarian Arun Sarin called a meeting of the residents of the area. Kalyani Nagar joined hands with the Rotary Club, Pune, EcoFriends, and other NGOs working in the area. Chandrani, I don't know if you've heard of Chandrani, it's an NGO which is part of the NCCIA, that's the Maratha Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture. They offer full support as well. They've been doing waste segregation and management of public composting awareness workshops. They've been conducting workshops for housekeeping staff, because the housekeeping staff, they need to know why we're segregating waste, they need to know why, what is the solid waste management all about. It is not solid waste disposal, it's about solid waste management. Part of this, at the Swachh Bharat, so we have the different groups, different residents, and we have the ward officer, we have sanitation officers, we also have our cooperators in it. So we have a whole area cooperator, and Purnima are also there as part of this group. Because through collaboration, cooperation, together we can. This is what Swachh Bharat does is we work in collaboration, we use social media, which we enable access to, we have all list of direct activities, collaboration, cooperation, building a solid waste management system to work locally. We are thinking about how we can work to get a better system in a smaller area. I don't know if you all have seen Madhavi city, but Madhavi city has a fantastic, it's almost like a zero waste management system within the city. And it works beautifully. We're trying to replicate that in the area. Okay, what Swachh Bharat did was we use social media. That is the WhatsApp, we use WhatsApp. It's a very simple app, everybody uses it, everybody is familiar with it. So we have our group of all these various residents, we have the ward officials, we have the operators, and citizens. It allows citizens to participate with the operator through this medium and with the PMC officials through this medium. It also enables, so what it enables she posted that on the group. There were about 10 to 15 societies that said, yes, we need this number, we need, some said we need pins, some said we need cards, and that was given. So it enabled active governance. So yeah, there have been about 70 issues that we've been counting, and we've realized that there were about 70 issues that have been resolved in under 5 months. Okay, next slide. What this Swachh Bharat group does is that citizens are owning and managing the areas around them. So it's not my home belongs to me. The area around my home, the space around my home, the public spaces also belong to me. So I look after them and I manage them. And every group, every zone has representatives that look after their. So Vijaya is one great volunteer zone representative. Citizens, okay, the citizens, they conduct their own cleanliness drives with the help of the Mukadam. The Mukadam is a supervisor who's the head of the Safai Karmacharis, the sweepers of the road. Because a lot of times we don't have the equipment, we don't have clippers, we don't have we get the some citizens, they themselves organize cleanliness drives and the Mukadam to ensure that the roads are cleaned up. And various things that we do. Then we've also prepared a special guide for volunteers. This guide, I'll tell you more about in the next slide. Okay, this is another Swachh Bharat in the news. Second reservation. Next. Okay, what we've been doing is we've been in all our citizen volunteers have been. If you see these, it's a very common sight in Pune. Most of these junction boxes, these telephone boxes have things pasted on them. So we just pull them out. We pull them out. So what we say is that we have obsessive compulsive disorder. Every time we see it, we just pull it out. And we don't drop it on the ground. We ensure that it's all picked up and taken away, dropped either in our homes or in a proper way. Why are we doing this? Because we have to find ways and means to fight against the difficulty habits that we Indians have. We have to learn, we have to figure out, and it requires a lot of patience. These are Vijay's words. It requires patience, perseverance, and positivity. And empathy. It requires some communication skills. We have to constantly change the way we speak to people. We can't speak to a security guard the way we would speak to maybe a driver, the way we would speak to supply karmachari, or the way we would speak to a friend. Yeah, so different kinds of people will add maybe a senior citizen. We have to change the way we speak to each person because they all listen differently, they understand differently. Next. Okay, this is what I would say is like a small gesture for man and a giant thing for democracy. This is our work. We're using small gestures. In our case, we find that this gesture helps in telling us, I mean, every time I'm doing this, there are people passing by looking straight, they say, what are you doing? So we tell them, look, this is public property. This and the roads and the footpaths have been built with our money, with our taxpayers' money. And like we wouldn't allow people to stick things in our homes, we don't allow people to stick things on this, because this also belongs to us. And why is it that we won't allow them to stick? Because it's not only unaesthetic, it's also illegal. And we noticed things get rusted. They get rusted, they peel off, and our money is reused for rebuilding these things rather than for development work. We want our money to go a long way. We want the taxpayers' money to go a long way. We need progress. And we need progress for our future citizens, for our future generations. Yeah, so like the ugly Indian, what do the ugly Indian in Bangalore do? They just wear masks and they keep picking up litter without talking. So for us, we have used this as our gesture. We have to talk to people because people are interested. And when we start doing this, of course we do other things. I mean, when we look at a phone number, paste it there, we call up people and we say, okay, sorry, this is not what you're not supposed to do. And we also give the list to the PMC saying that until we build awareness, people will not understand. We need to educate. And so that is really on top awareness drives in different ways. Yeah, citizen and youth involvement, yes, that is again extremely key. Collaboration through competition. We're now going on to the next phase where we're going to collaborate through competition in the sense that different zones will compete with one another to say, okay, my zone is cleaner than yours. And it's collaboration sort of brings up excitement, that zing, and this is what we plan to do. And not just in terms of clean roads, we're talking about solid waste management. Our society is really segregating. How much are they segregating? Are they doing the right thing? Is their tree cover good? How are their footpaths? How are their roads? And in this way, we build active citizenship on the ground, at the grassroots. Alongside, while we are getting citizens to own the roads and the spaces around them, we are also trying to build a robust solid waste management system. We are looking at large waste trucks, especially for Purnima. We are looking for, and we already have a budget for an organic waste converter for Ward 70 at Purnima. And we've also spoken to the PFC to give us a separate mechanism for biomedical waste, especially diverse and sanitary pads. And now I hear you talking about sanitary pads that are biodegradable process. Fantastic. So, we need that. Yes, fundraising, engagement with corporate offices. We have been working towards engagement with corporate offices. We've already been offered support by Cycling and the other policies. We're also looking at health checkup camps for hawkers. The vendor policy has not allowed us to move hawkers out of their zones. But even if we can help them maintain cleanliness, that should be fine. So, but the reason is we can't reach out to hawkers is because there is this barrier. If we cannot help check-out camps, then we will find a way to speak to them. Next. How EcoFriends can help? Well, absolutely everything. Everything that street plays, short awareness films. You think about that on YouTube. Then later, you can either create a WhatsApp group or use the existing one. Collaboration with competition, you could make the best film or make the best whose film or street play that has better impact. We're talking about street plays not being effective, but we can work towards making better street plays, getting more and more people to get together. Maybe flash mobs would help. We can incorporate that into street plays. And innovation is really important. And having fun while you do everything, because garbage is dirty business, but we can make it fun, we can make it interesting, we can find ways and means to make it all very exciting. I don't know if you face the problem, but in Kalyani we have an issue where you driving from Shastri Nagar Chowk into Kalyani Nagar, you cannot see the divider because you don't have these. So we have these waste CDs. So we stuck them on at the edges, so that maybe if the headlights come on, most of the street lights are not working. So if at all light falls on that, you'll be able to see that okay, there is something on there, there is a divider out there. So and the youth today, all of you would innovate definitely far better than us. And we're looking to you for something different, something out of the box. And I think yes, collaboration. Collaboration is a very key word. Next question. Okay, so message. So touching humor always helps. Yeah. And thank you so much for your patience.
And there are questions for you from the audience. That's okay.
I would like to ask you, when you speak of container free, this is more a concept like out of sight, out of mind. Because even if you use you. See, we are elected them only because we want them to help us in all the probable areas which we are not happy with in our jurisdiction. So what I suggest is, if you know your corporate, along with him, suppose you feel there are containers of garbage lying out, that's what we do in Kalyani. If there are people who are dumping in the open areas, immediately on WhatsApp, our coordinator gets the message saying there has been some garbage dumped in the open area, and he goes ahead and tells the PMC to send their truck to take the dry garbage. Only what I'm trying to tell each one of you, in your area, take the help of your corporate, because that is why we are working for them, right? It is our duty. We are happy, I understand that, but I think again and again, have to make them do their duties. And the only way we can do it, I think all of us getting together to see that we do the work. This is what I request each one of you. Try it, I'm sure it will go in, groups and mobs and sit on your heads. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, ma'am. Following ma'am, we have Mrs. Renu Bhardwaj from Optimist, who will speak to us about ecofeminism, role of women in conserving the environment.
Good evening, everybody, and a special good evening to Akash and all the EcoFriends. I've been honored that you asked me to come and give a talk, and I'm grateful to Akash who's been coordinating with me from the US, and that's really very sweet of him. Well, environment is one topic which is very, very close to my heart. Being an army brat and married to an army officer, I've been brought up with the ethos of just taking care of our environment. And I feel environment just doesn't end at flora and fauna and garbage, goes a little beyond that. And that is what the aspect that I'm going to talk about. Well, I'm going to talk on the role of women and conserving the environment. Conserving the environment is our collective responsibility. It is the responsibility of all human beings on this planet, as it is an issue affecting all of us. The basic unit of a society is a woman. As a woman makes a family, family makes a home, and home makes a society. Therefore, their primary contribution to making a society is that of a woman. We all know that without education, no development is possible. Here, we have forgotten that the very first and best school of a child is its mother's lap. A good, healthy society does not automatically emerge as its own and stands firm, but it needs to be emerged, and for its emergence, women play a pivotal role. From behavioral to health, education women have their contribution. It is a woman who teaches her children how to behave, how to speak, and how to deal with the different classes of people. These are all the basic fundamentals of a good society, and women are the main contributors in building a strong society and a sustainable environment. Next. The term ecofeminism has been coined in 1970s. However, since time immemorial, women have participated in this movement and have been in the forefront in protecting our wildlife, food, air, and water. In fact, community women and nature are interconnected due to the very basic feminine nature, meaning to nurture. We give birth and nurture our children. So also women have looked after their environment and their homes, the areas surrounding their homes, and community areas, and those areas which support their communities, their farmlands and forests, which provide them their basic necessities. Next. Therefore, the woman plays a very important role in the conservation of our environment. expand the definition of environment to not only the restricted areas of preservation of flora and fauna, purity of water and air, but a far more encompassing role as shown on the slide. Empowerment of women, eradication of poverty and hunger, improvement in the basic health and hygiene, achieving primary education, promoting gender equality, ensuring environment sustainability. Next. Environment responsibility. As I mentioned in the beginning, that conservation of the environment is our common responsibility, and therefore each and every one of us in his individual capacity has to contribute towards achieving this aim, and we cannot and must not hide behind the facade that this is the state's responsibility, or like we say, only the parents' responsibility. Recently, I read an article that a village in Maharashtra has a few years ago started a tradition that on any auspicious or joyous occasion, such as marriage in the family, birth of a girl child, etc., the family led by the women plant a tree which is nurtured by that very family. A very simple and practical move, but the collective effective is that the complete environment of the village is changed, and along with it, a subtle change in the psyche of all participants as they are now all stakeholders. A simple step having a mammoth implication. In western parts of India, the Bishnois similarly protect their flora and fauna zealously with miraculous results. Next. Education. The women of today expects much more from society, and that can only be achieved if we empower our women, and the first step to achieve this is education. It is therefore imperative that as a country we lay greater emphasis on education, especially that of a girl child. By 2020, we must raise the literacy level of women in India from the current 65% to more than 90%. A mammoth task, but achievable if we collectively put in our effort. As the saying goes, you educate a man, you educate a man. You educate a woman, you educate a generation. Violence against women. I would like to spend a few moments to speak to you on this issue of violence against women. Women have always been referred to as the weaker sex. Women may be weaker physically, but in all other attributes, they are equal to or stronger than the males. However, my aim today is not to compare the attributes, but to bring out the necessity in our society to protect women against violence, be it domestic violence or sexual violence. The worst example being the Nirbhaya case in Delhi. We need a strong society to assure women of their safety. Empowering women. Women empowerment is not simply a woman's issue, it's a human issue. Next. Our country is blessed with having a mature and secular democratic society. With the promulgation of the Constitution, women in India were given equal voting rights much before many Western countries. True equality will happen when women achieve financial independence. This is possible through education and greater representation of women in parliament and decision-making bodies. Environment. A woman is the homemaker, and the entire family and their activities revolve around her. Therefore, the woman of the house has always been a very strong, but at times silent voice guiding the family. She controls every aspect of the environment in the house, from the simple task of cleanliness, conservation of water, electricity, collection, segregation and disposal of garbage, to tending to the plants in the house or the kitchen garden. Hence, women understand these aspects in greater detail from the micro level to its global implications. Women, especially have a special relationship with the environment. They are very close to nature and dependent on the environment, and therefore the whole ecosystem revolves around her. Hence, there is a mutual respect which promotes a culture of preservation to meet the needs of future generations. Therefore, women have and are taking the responsibility of providing the leadership for the protection of the environment. To conclude, to ensure that women play their rightful role in conserving our environment as a nation, we must ensure the following. Greater emphasis to raise the literacy level of women, the education system be revised and promote to inculcate gender equality, greater representation of women in all legislative bodies from the grassroots level to the parliament, women be given greater responsibilities at the local levels on environment-based issues, including waste management and garbage disposal. Priority to be given to ensure security of women. In the end, I am sure that by our collective efforts we can and we will achieve our goals. Thank you.
If there are any questions that the audience, the members of the audience have, the time to ask them is now. Do we have any questions?
Good evening. First of all, I want to give thanks to all young children that they are doing a lot of effort for this environmental effort. Or if you all people can allow me to Hindi, so I can give my words in better way. मुझे बच्चों को देखकर एक लाइन याद आती है कि हम लाए हैं तूफान से किश्ती निकाल के, हम लाए हैं तूफान से किश्ती निकाल के इस देश को रखना मेरे बच्चों से। इन बच्चों के लिए एक बार दोस्तों, ये बच्चे जो अपनी पढ़ाई के साथ साथ वो कर रहे हैं जो हमें करना है, हम कर रहे हैं लेकिन हम खराब भी कर रहे हैं। हम ही खराब कर रहे हैं ऐसा नहीं है, ये भी खराब कर रहे हैं और जिन्हें हम चुन के ला रहे हैं वो भी खराब कर रहे हैं। तो हम सब ने मिलकर, हमने, बच्चों ने और जिन्हें हम चुन के लाते हैं या जो हमारे सरकारी डिपार्टमेंट के लोग, मुझे नहीं मालूम कि हम यहाँ सिर्फ कल्याणगढ़ की बात करें या बाकी पुणे की बात भी कर सकते हैं। थैंक यू। तो आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि पुणे के बाकी ऐसे एरियाज हैं, कल्याणी नगर अपने नाम से किया है, कल्याण हो चुका है। आप ऐसे कुछ एरिया और ढूंढिए जहाँ कल्याण की जरूरत है। एक, क्या पर्टिकुलर किसी कॉम्प्लेक्स के लिए, किसी सोसाइटी के लिए भी आकर वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट के लिए समझाएंगे या हेल्प कर सकते हैं? तो आप हमारे कॉम्प्लेक्स है उसके बारे में नोट कर लीजिए, वहाँ अपना समय हमें दीजिए ताकि वहाँ के लोग अपने कचरे को बेहतर से संभालें, अपने कॉम्प्लेक्स को और बेहतर कर पाएं, जो उस एरिया के लिए और शहर के लिए एक एग्जाम्पल बन सके। तो if you want to like, I can give you the address.
I'll give you my card and we can get that.
जी, देखिए आपने विमेन के बारे में बहुत कुछ कहा। हमारे पुणे में, मैं दिल्ली से आया हूँ, ऑब्जर्व करता हूँ कि पब्लिक यूटिलिटी सर्विसेज, कॉमन सर्विसेज जो है, कॉमन आपसे क्या नाम दूँ, यस, अब देखिए रोड्स पर आप कल्याणगढ़ देख लीजिए, आप वानावड़ी देख लीजिए, आप कैंप देख लीजिए, पूरे एमजी रोड पर क्या आपको बेहतर सुविधाएं हैं?
बिल्कुल।
आदमियों के लिए तो सिर्फ भी नहीं मिल जाएंगी, औरतों के लिए तो बिल्कुल नहीं है।
आदमियों के लिए दीवार है ना।
अभी आप मेरा मुंह मेरा ये कहना है कि आप पढ़ा रही हैं उनको नौकरी के लिए हेल्प कर रही हैं। सरकारी डिपार्टमेंट्स में हमारे प्रधानमंत्री कह रहे हैं कि स्कूलों में शौचालय बनाएंगे, क्योंकि बच्चे पढ़ने नहीं आ रहे हैं। अगर आप बाजार जा रही हैं, आप बस में जा रही हैं, आप कहीं काम में जा रही हैं, अगर आपको कहीं रुकना पड़े तो कहाँ रुकती हैं? बहुत सी बीमारियां हम पैदा कर रहे हैं अपने आप को इस तरह की सैनिटरी को कंट्रोल करने से। मेरा आपसे आपके इस फ्रंट पर यह भी निवेदन है कि कृपया इस बारे में अगर आप कहीं आगे आवाज पहुंचा सकें उस पर ध्यान दीजिए।
जरूर।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। धन्यवाद।
सफाई की बात करते हैं, मैं आपको सबको बताना चाहूँगी अभी we are just going to Lucknow, Varanasi and we went for a holiday and I would love to tell all of you that बनारस में हमेशा लोग बात करते हैं कि इतनी गंदी सिटी है, कोई वहाँ जाना नहीं चाहता, फिर भी वहाँ पे इतने फॉरेनर्स जाते हैं क्योंकि जो भी उसकी इम्पोर्टेंस है उस जगह की। हम अभी गए थे और दंग रह गए वहाँ की सफाई देख के। गंगा तो वो गंगा है ही नहीं जो पहले थी, वो इतनी साफ पह रही है वहाँ पे। तो मोदी जी का स्वच्छ अभियान कुछ तो काम कर रहा है। हम सुबह 2:30 बजे मैं मेरे हस्बैंड वहाँ पे काशी विश्वनाथ जी के सुबह मंगल आरती के लिए हम सुबह गए थे और आप मानोगे सुबह के 2 बजे, 2:15, 2:30 बजे सुबह लोग सफाई कर रहे थे सड़कों की, कूड़ा उठा रहे थे, गाड़ियाँ थी जो गार्बेज उठा रही है। तो मैं कहती हूँ हमारे पूरा शहर में ऐसे क्यों नहीं हो सकता है? हम लोग दिन को क्यों गार्बेज उठाते हैं? Why not at night when everybody is sleeping? That is the time the PMC should be out with their workers and their vehicles cleaning up the city. And I am ashamed to say that I think Pune is the filthiest city I have ever seen in my life. जबकि यहाँ पे मैक्सिमम ऐसी बॉडीज हैं जो कि एनवायरमेंटलिस्ट हैं और इतने लीडर्स हैं जो कह रहे हैं कि हम साफ करेंगे, बट उन सब के मुकाबले ये फिफ्थियस्ट सिटी है। मैंने तो अपने हस्बैंड के साथ कितने लोगों को चेस किया है जब मैंने उनको देखा कि वो कूड़ा फेंकते हैं, स्कूटर से, गाड़ी से बाहर फेंकते हैं, मतलब अपनी जान रिस्क में डाल के लोगों का पीछा करके उनको रोकते हैं। तो हम 1, 2, 3, 4 नहीं करेंगे। But the point is, this has to be told to each and every citizen, and it is a collective responsibility of each one of us to educate people, to create this awareness. And I'm not saying EcoFriends, okay, they are amazing children, I'm so proud of these, but the point is, look at your other friends, look at your other children. Do they follow what you do? You know, I have seen children eating chips or chocolates or whatever and throwing the wrappers there. So do we all have the guts to do it? Maybe you will do it in Pune, Delhi में तो कुछ आपको गोली मार देगा. So I feel it is a collective responsibility, and at home I think it is most important for the mothers to bring this awareness in their children. Your education starts at home, and education is just not reading history, geography, biology. It is this too. That is what they say. जो शीशा खुलेगा उसमें से आइसक्रीम का कप, एक चॉकलेट रैपर, एक अंकल चिप्स का पैकेट उठा के लेगा। तो ये तो पढ़े लिखों की हाल है। हम पढ़े लिखे होके भी अनपढ़ ही हैं। Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more questions? Yes. Following ma'am, we now have Mrs. Deepti Oak from EcoFriends, who will talk to us about the Prakriti Mega Project, moving towards ecofeminism, the solution to environmental issues.
Good evening, everyone, and I have come for the first time. It's like I have just joined EcoFriends, you can say. I am the teacher and mission to cycle these children from sociology. So that is how I have got connected with ecofeminism and EcoFriends group together. Okay. So let's just go to the first slide. That is a basic idea of what EcoFriends is doing. I know most of you already know it, but just to quickly run through it. The first activity is basically on environmental conservation and restoration, which is like big words, okay? But then reaching out to an individual and actually doing it in field is what the EcoFriends youth is doing. I mean, yes, they are studying sociology, biology, physics, chemistry, and they cover all possible fields. But along with that, the sensitivity towards these things is not just big words, but they are doing it in practice. Okay, so that is the first thing, yes, the activities focusing on environmental conservation and restoration, all the things which have been mentioned there. Then coming to the next, to try and involve the local bodies in our projects and to convince people to join us. As one of our speakers spoke, that the cooperator should be included in the whole process. You know, I'm trying to keep a rapport with the cooperator, and that's true, ma'am, because all the cooperators, if they are involved, they very much want to do it, not just because of their vote bank, but also because they are sensitized towards it equally, you know. And I don't know the exact numbers, but there are a lot of women who are the cooperators. Yeah? So basically, it's not just to show that women are doing too much for it, but it's just the awareness, as ma'am said, that if a woman is educated, a complete generation is educated. And that is why we are going to the next, where EcoFriends is starting with a new project based on the principles of ecofeminism, where it is called as, can we go to the next slide, please? The next one. We come to this later. Just come. Next one. Yeah. So it is Prakrit Stri. Prakriti with Stri. Okay? Nature and nurture, as ma'am talked about. So it's a combination of how we can go about bringing the whole idea of change, or preservation, conservation, or on the environmental issues, but with the involvement, conscious involvement of women in the whole project. Okay, so there are just certain few things which Akash and me, he's sitting in US and I'm sitting here, we just brainstorm something. So this is just a very basic concept or projects we thought we could start with. The first was like expanding the society's mega project, that is basically on plantations. Because women, as ma'am said, that already they are trying to manage the ola kachra or the wet or the organic waste in the house. So, you know, try to educate them about composting, not just at the home level, but also at the society level. Where the builders, I think in many of the new societies, there are two, those concrete things made where they can dump the garbage, but there is nothing but just dust and dry leaves and nothing else. So the actual worth of the whole thing has to come up through educating, to giving them the actual practical knowledge. And we have groups who can, I have already talked to those people where they can come with us to the societies and educate them about how to do the organic composting. And it is, believe me, not very difficult. So if it is educated, it is being told, it is demonstrated in the right way, the sensitization can be done. And of course, we have to start at the micro level. It's not that, everything has to be big. It has to start from small. And as a lot of things are already going on in Kalyani, it's really phenomenal, whatever you've been showing her. So why not reach out to every place? I mean, there are different units of EcoFriends working in different areas as well. So we can definitely activate those areas, try to coordinate, meet the secretaries of different societies around, even the ones where you all are staying, and start with that, so that we can bring this whole change in the waste management project, right? So that is why the first is that encouraging composting in societies, trying to make people aware of the recycling. Then also, yes, there is this whole idea of documentary display. Documentary display is basically trying to show that in the long run, how in the form of statistics through different projects which have already been successful, so that people are motivated towards doing it, So that kind of documentary displays should be a part of it. Then painting and cloth bag making. Painting would be something like, as we saw about in Jail Road, as you just mentioned, the whole idea of how trying to avoid, make the people conscious that, okay, I can't just throw and spit somewhere, So these kind of things. But then yes, that as well as the use of, stopping the use of plastic completely. We never say no if we forget a bag. We don't go to, or we go to any shop. And I think a lot of times for the vegetables or basic needs, the women are going. So they should be aware to say no to a plastic bag. Okay, if you have forgotten, either using the newspaper which is already there with them. So you can always get it in that. Sometimes it is difficult, so then fine, you can try. But it should be made aware of the maximum avoidance of use of plastic and reuse of so much of cloth which we already have in our houses, you know, to get into a product. A cloth bag just hardly takes any time to make. And I'm sure the older generation always used to reuse, you know, those cushion pillows and things like that to convert into a bag, you know. So these kind of things, but in a nicer way, because these days people believe in how things are presentable, how they look. So maybe in their way we can start, you know, so something of that sort. Then the next was creating awareness amongst people with maximum involvement from the women with respect to all these things. Because as we say that it starts from a woman in the house. So why not bring all these women of all age groups together, try to sensitize them about these things, that what power they have to bring this change in the society, right? And then was, of course, about the idea of Swachh Bharat, which we thought including the women more in that, trying to hold small, play kind of things where we can just try and show the whole idea of how cleaning can help and how the health issues can be managed. Also, one more thing about the whole idea of the toilets which are not there actually in our city. You know? So this whole idea needs to be brought in the notice of the people who are at the PMC level, who are at the official post levels, where we can definitely sensitize them to start thinking on these lines. Maybe the change will take time, it will not happen just right away, because the funds have to come. There are so many other things involved in it. But then definitely that it can be instigated. So it's a very important point which the EcoFriends can bring in when we are working on this project. Yeah? Yeah, the previous slides actually I just wanted to give an idea about what is ecofeminism. So I had them. If you are interested, then I can just explain it very quickly. But otherwise, this is all what I wanted to talk about. It's a new project that we have come up with the idea of bringing EcoFriends close to ecofeminism through the Prakrit 3 project. Yeah? Vandana Shiva, I think you all know about Vandana Shiva. She has been the instrumental person from India, I would say. There are people working all over the world towards ecofeminism. And as she has quoted there, we are either going to have a future where women really have the reality to way to make peace with the earth, or we are not going to have a human future at all. So basically the whole idea or the assumption behind this ecofeminism is nature and nurture. So it's like nature is treated as Mother Earth, where she is just giving everything by itself, asking nothing in return. And it is compared to the role or position of women who are treated as the second sex, who are treated as somebody lower to the male member. And since we have a complete patriarchal kind of a system where we are living, so it's like the domination which the women have to face. So this whole ecofeminist movement is trying to bring the total idea of nature and women who are being suppressed through this patriarchal system to overthrow it and bring this whole consciousness at all levels. And as ma'am said, not just women getting involved in trying to improve the environment, but in getting them powerful, empowered through all the other ways also. The violence, the whole idea of education, the whole idea of making their position. They are equal. They are not somebody who is a second sex, who is just going to get a chance when the male member is not available or is not, there to help. Only then she gets a chance. That is not how it should be, is what the whole movement is all about. Yeah, can you come to the last slide? This is basically an image from the village called Plantri, which is in Rajasthan, and the Sarpanch of that place, he had a daughter who expired, and since then, that is 2006, he came up with this idea that whenever a girl is born in the village, they plant 111, that is 111 trees every time, and it's the responsibility of the family to look after the plants, not just planting them and forgetting them. That is out of sight, out of mind. It should not happen, is what, and it has been taken care, and now the whole village is more of a after the child, give her proper education, all the facilities required, would not marry her before the legal marriageable age, and would give a proper status to that child when she is of the age where she is going to be independent. And for this, they take an amount of 10,000 from the parent, and the total village contributes up to an amount of 21,000. They convert, they mix the whole amount, put it as an FD, so that when the girl is at age 20, she gets all that money where she can go for further education, which is a very big step which the village has taken from 2006. This is going on, and present day the economy of the village also has grown along with the effort. Yeah, so I think that's a very good motivator for all of us. If the village in Rajasthan can do it, why not we all also at a small possible level, at our level we can just start with something. Yeah, are we all in it? Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we have any questions amongst the audience? Anyone?
I have a question. It's the irony of this. I just wanted to, I just got on your point where you talked about the patriarchal system. For me, it's been puzzling me right from the time this session started. This is my conclusion that children look up more to the parent, to the father. Even if we talk a lot about the woman and the mother figure and all that, it is the father who has a very large influence, and this I'm talking as a very educated person who had a career and who completed a career. I would say that children respond a lot to that. So when we talk feminism, like as a, everything based on that, we have to first ensure that the woman gets a position. This is what I'm seeing even today.
The present youth here, I think if I ask them the question, maybe the answer may not be the same. But yes, what you're talking about is at the larger level, yes. In the total country, definitely it's a very small person, the urban setup, even a fewer in the urban setup, yes, I agree to that. But is it not the responsibility of the parent to show that neutrality amongst the two sexes, then genders? I mean, it's not, I'm not saying it's a fault because it has come from our parents, So that change has to come by trying to educate the people towards the sensitizing aspect, not as feminism. It's not about trying to say that women only should propagate feminism. There are so many men who agree to this fact because it's the whole idea of where we treat the women lower to the men with respect to power. It's not physical strength. It's about, as you just said, even if a woman is the earning member, even if she is earning equally or even more than that, she is supposed to be handling the other added responsibilities of the house as well. But then who is responsible for it? Aren't we taking it willingly on us? We never protested when we were given all the responsibilities. So it's the change of mindsets, not of the men alone, of the women also, which has to take place. And it will, ma'am, slowly it will, because this generation, what I see, because I teach them, I know, that the men and the boys are equally sensitized to these issues. And since I teach sociology, so I actually see them, and I would like to appreciate this generation because they are sensitized, both the boys and the girls. So that equality in status has to come by giving them the knowledge what is right and what is wrong. And yes, you're right, ma'am, that is existent, but it will change. And we are the ones. Yes. And we are the ones who have to bring that change. So we will, I think, together we can. Yeah? Thank you.
We had 2 videos from our guest speakers from the United States, which we tried at the beginning of the program as you all saw, but due to some technical glitch, they were not working. We would like to try them once again if they are working. Very good, more topic for discussion on stage. And if it does not, we have the 2 speakers who will take the stage there. And now, could we have them?
I'm from University. I
And my research project for my dissertation has been a study of how urban and agricultural land cover impacts the distributions of plants and insects at different trophic levels. So I study how the ways in which humans use land impacts interactions between herbivores and plants, and then at the next level between predators and those herbivores. It's very important to explore questions like this because urban and agricultural land cover can have really profound effects on the distributions of all kinds of animals. And insects are particularly important. Insects comprise a huge proportion of the terrestrial animal diversity and are linchpins to functioning ecosystems. So it's really important to understand how insects are affected by land cover, how the ecosystem services that they deliver are distributed about these landscapes and how insects move around. And so far, my research has found that relative to agricultural land cover, the densities of insects are depressed in urban land cover. At least the insects that I'm looking at, despite the fact that their plant hosts are actually at higher densities in urban cover. Now these are very specialized insects that can only use a particular host. In this case, one of the species that I'm looking at, the predator associated with it has been completely extirpated, completely absent from the city across 3 study years in which I've looked at these insects, which is very interesting. And we are using population genetic methods and other methods where we're looking at population stability and persistence between seasons to try to understand what it is about the city that has unlinked the relationship between the predator and herbivore in this situation. These relationships will hopefully help us understand what might be going on in other insect systems. Some insects exhibit similar relationships where they may be completely absent from cities, whereas other species may do very well in cities and in fact reach densities that are far higher in cities than the densities that they reach in the surrounding areas, to the point that they cause problems for the maintenance of urban vegetation. So at the other end of this, there are many reasons to explore the processes that determine the distribution of insects in urban areas. And I hope to continue with this line of research as I proceed with my career. And I would really like to congratulate EcoFriends on 6 years of really fabulous environmentalism.
Thank you, ma'am. I will now request Sahib to kindly introduce our next speaker, who is Andrew Hirst.
Up next, we have a video of Mr. Andrew Hirst, the president of the University of Iowa Student Garden, who will speak to us about food security and the global significance of local organic food.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Hirst. co-president of the University of Iowa Student Garden. The University of Iowa Student Garden is a small farm, about an acre, that operates on the University of Iowa campus. We sell our produce to the student union, and what we don't sell, we donate to the crisis center. What we don't sell and what we don't donate, we join in the communal feast together and eat ourselves. It's truly one of the most fantastic experiences I've had in my higher education. Akash has asked me to speak to you about the importance of organic and local foods and why I find myself in the midst of it. But first, I'd like to say congratulations to EcoFriends for 6 wonderful years of environmental advocacy and service. Some of the stories that Akash has been able to share with me have truly been inspiring and amazing, and I can't wait to hear about all the amazing things this organization and this group does in the years to come. I'm truly appreciative of it, and I would just like to take this time to say thank you for all that you do and all that you've done. And also, happy Earth Day. The importance of organic agriculture is wide and far-reaching. To reduce the toxic load that we currently put on our industrialized agricultural system, keep chemicals out of the air, water, and soil, is utmost important. In doing so, we eliminate the need for heavy industrialized fertilizers and pesticides, petroleum-based products that often pollute the environment, but also have a negative a large CO2 footprint associated with it. In doing so and eliminating these toxic chemicals, we're able to build the health of the soil, which should be very much treated as an organism that is alive. The more we know about biodiversity, the more we can say it's one of the universal indicators of the health of the environment, and having a strong sense of biodiversity is the sense of having a strong environment. But it's more than that, organic agriculture is. And a lot gets left out. It gives eating a sense of place, and it gives farmers a sense of community, but it gives us a culture. And very much founded within the word itself, agriculture is a culture, and in doing so, and putting it in an industrialized system, we're doing away with that culture. And we strongly need that back. We need to reconnect with where our food comes from, and we need to reconstruct our plates from wherever it may be. Food insecurity is an enormous issue in this country, as it is elsewhere in the world. Obesity and other health-related problems all center around our plate and where we get our food, and that is something that gets addressed when going to organic agriculture.
Now, Ms. Rumana Memon from EcoFriends will speak to us about the Society's mega project and how EcoFriends plans to enhance local participation.
Society's mega project was first started by Avinash Madala in his own society, that is Sunshine in 2012. The name was given in 2013, the Society's mega project. Society's mega project is basically founded because it was getting too difficult to nurture the plants that we planted on the hills. Since we all are students and it's very difficult to go weekly over there and nurture them and plant and water them. So we decided to aim at the societies so they could take care and nurture them, and also it would add aesthetic beauty to the societies. And also to have local participation and make them aware of the composting and rainwater harvesting. We implemented these projects in Pune and Mumbai so far, and in 2014 we have the statistic that how many number of plants we planted. There were 7 events which we did. and environment. How we go about it? We target a society. We ask them what kind of saplings and how many saplings they require, and we plant it for them. And if we can, we go for weekly watering or weeding for them, or else they do it themselves. They take the initiative to do it for themselves. Our future plans, we are trying to expand it by targeting different societies and in different areas. Not only students, but also elderly people and basically teachers. That is global participation. The ecofeminism branch and Dr. Street will be helping us in our future plans. And it's basically to get people aware of composting and paper policy. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, this is regarding helping societies with planting of trees. I just explained to you that when a new project comes up, anyone builds up, housing, whether it is a single building or whether it is an entire society has land. But when you talk of older areas where we are redeveloping, they have the system. I would like to educate you that they bring 4 plants from the nursery, huge ones. They get the NOC. The NOC is given, that is how the building, you can reoccupy the building, that is very important, that NOC. And then it's taken back in the same van where it came from, back to the same nursery. So this is one area you can work. Wherein it is not just a pretense. It is just a show. And this is all in crowded areas wherein you need greenery. We live in areas wherein we do have greenery, like when you say we are from one of the areas that is very sunshine and all that there. These are all extensions of original Pune. But when we talk of Pune city, in between, this is what is happening. So if you could devise something, in fact, this is where the corporator, the governing bodies come in, wherein no longer it's a sham, but when it's actually done seriously.
Yeah.
I just saw on your board, the first plantations that you have done is at Kumar. I come from Kumar. The plants have grown, they must be 5-6 feet tall now. Now, because of your initiative, this year, I think last 2 months, I have planted 57 plants. Saplings are very small. What I want to say is the difference is that you are saying plant within the society. There are roads and lands across, you can just one plant where nobody will interfere. And just by coming and going, if you are putting some water, you can ask people, and they will grow, and the green cover will be much. Why only society? Why not all areas?
It's just to project in societies also. We have different phases also. We have different plots, like in Kerala, we have it in IDF, before Krafner. We have different plots. Society's mega project is just a different project.
The other thing that brought me from is all food practice. Instead of just chucking that seeds, just throw that seed to the open ground. It will catch food and we have to eat it. So that was another way of plantation, instead of going and digging and watering and all. Just throw the seeds like a macro.
Actually, to answer the question that you said, EcoFriends has, if you know, in Nagar, it's one of those areas where society mega projects works the best because there are so many societies. It even works, it started in IBM, but Kalyan has been doing really well on that side. As you said, why not go outside the societies where we have patches? The reason we take societies is because we have, at times societies have gardeners. And those gardeners do tend to look, now we all are students. As much as we can, we all tend to do. But we have months where we are supposed to give examinations, we have assignments, project submissions. So at times there is an entire month where there has been no rain and we have not been able to go and water those plants on a weekly basis. That's why we have done it. We have planted plants, but we have lost those plants. We've lost those guys. So before planting plants outside, we tend to think twice. Of course, that's a good suggestion. If somewhere in a society which is done well, we can plant something, we do that. However, still, that's what I would like to say. We think twice before anything. Any more questions?
Yeah, basically, supposed to the point of planting plants outside, there are a lot of issues with that, more importantly, because planting something outside, it could be a small shrub or like something that is planted. Suppose say it is on a divider, medial divider, it is barren, and as environmentalists, we feel we should do something about it, we go on. So now the community has to decide between, we have to do some information over that, between uprooting that plant, or is it even registered with the government that we cannot uproot it, or if it is not, which usually it is not, they just uproot it and put it aside, because there are a lot of renovation things going on, urban development and other plans like that. So planting outside is it's not impossible, it's possible, because in fact the company's general project is based on that, but it's slightly, it needs more legal consideration before going into it. Like society is more like you speak to the chairman, you speak to the board over there, they let you do it. But outside, it's slightly more.
Addressing what you said, ma'am, basically, when as environmentalists we try to go outside and we try to plant these in plots, right? When we target the areas such as, say, the east of Pune, right? And all that, these areas are up and coming areas where most of the lands are owned by private builders. Now the problem is, these people, some of them may even allow us to plant at their plots after the societies are done. The thing is, we see a lot of land, and when we ask them, they do not allow us. The reason behind that is very simple. The government, thankfully, has a rule now that if there is a plant registered in some place, for the completion certificate of the society, there have to be certain, multiples of those number of plants to be planted. That effort the builders do not want to take. So those lands which are up there for us, which we could manage, are not being given. I say this because in Harapsa we had a plot. We took care of the plants, and almost all of the plants lived and they grew and they prospered. What happened? Land was sold off, they are trying to make a garden. So now there is all those complications and all. Thankfully, those plants are still safe. But this is not possible everywhere.
Thank you, Prithvi. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that we've got very less time on our hands. We've got to finish with our entire speeches. We will be moving on towards refreshments. When you go towards refreshments, if you've got any questions for the speakers, you can ask them. We have Madhavi Bhagwat right now. First of all, I'll ask Sahil to kindly introduce Madhavi.
Thank you, Rumana. Following Rumana, we have the last speaker of this evening, Ms. Madhavi Bhagwat from EcoFriends, who will talk to us on the importance of promoting environmentalism on the student level and how EcoFriends plans to reach out to more schools.
Hello, I understand we're on a schedule here, so this will be short. Okay, so the gist of this presentation is EcoFriends in schools. We're trying to involve more and more schools as possible. As most of you already know, EcoFriends started in Bishops, and we're officially associated with all three branches. But we'd like to take it further, of course, because Bishops has been a great foundation, very strong one, but we need to take it further. We conduct many activities we conduct many activities with the help of school children and also the teachers. Some of them are tree planting and maintenance, cleanliness drives, awareness programs, paper bag making competitions, seed distribution report days, eco-friendly gifts. Now, eco-friendly gifts as in, so whenever you have to honor somebody or present a token of your appreciation, we usually give bouquets. Now, bouquets are dead flowers, basically. And when, if it's And also, and it's instead of and they also last longer in bouquets if you take care of them. So it's a good initiative, and we're gonna start with an envelope reuse project. Here are a few pictures about tree planting. As you can see, all of them are bishops, but we'd like to include more schools of course. There are cleanliness drives. We've been mentioned in the papers quite a few times. Awareness programs. Here you can see some of our members make packing seeds, I think they're tulsi seeds, in small packs of newspapers and giving them to each and every student along with their report card. So why branch out? Why get more schools involved? As it is every either call or organization, the best thing to do is catch them young. So we are approaching more and more schools. And the number of schools will multiply. If one school can plant and maintain 100 trees, so imagine we get more and more. If we get 5, that's 500. If we get 10, that's 1,000. Isn't that a great thing? And getting more people involved is not just beneficial for the organization, but also for the environment, which is why this organization was founded. Okay. And how? We are approaching lots of schools and talking to the heads and all the management. We're starting soon with Mount Carmel School and St. Matthew's Academy, which are both in Madhavi. And this year, because of the sesquicentennial celebrations, due to Bishop's completing 150 years, we had reduced the number of projects because so many events. But now we will be resuming and increasing them. And another important part is increasing awareness and teaching children about how the environment is deteriorating and how they need to care about the environment, and especially recycling and waste segregation. That's a very important part, and they can do it. That's it. Thank you.
Are there any questions? I hope not. We're running short on time. I hope everything was clear and crisp. Thank you, speakers, for sharing your edifying and informative perspectives with us. A special thanks. Well, I say this a lot. I've said this on many speeches, but today I truly mean it. A special thanks to our proactive audience, whose ideas and contemplative questions have helped us introspect and better our perspectives. If you have any more suggestions, you can send us an email on ecofriendchairman@yahoo.in, because just like every tree counts, every idea counts too. Now, moving towards the felicitation ceremony, there are a few members who always stood out, and this year too we've had members, EcoFriends has expanded, and there have been members who've done extremely well even this year. I now hand over to Mr. Vasco, who will carry out the felicitation ceremony.
Okay, there's one request to the audience. As I call out the name, please clap at the end so that we save on time, okay? So once we are done with so here we go. Because as we come to the end of the seminar and go to the felicitation part, I would ask one of our co-founders, Mr. Parvez Patel, to come up and give the certificates. So as I call out the names of the speakers, please, Mr. Avinash Madala from View. Mrs. Purnima Joshi from KNR. Mrs. Renu Bhardwaj, ma'am, please come. Mrs. Deepti Oak. Ms. Rumana Memon. Ms. Madhavi Bhagwat.
Okay, I would request our Vice President, Mr. Rahul Kore, to please come up and felicitate the members. Jay Mehta, if he's here. Palak Sangvi. Karina Chadha. Shayoni. Pratusha Rani.
Don't clap, Krishna.
Ala Patil. Aditya Chetri. Lubina Sementwala. Sanika, if she's here. Miss Madhavi Bhagwat again. Miss Gayatri Khetraman, if she's here.
Yes, she is.
Miss Memon again, please, if you could come up. Aditya Singh. Jayashri Bajaj, if she's here. Master Sahil Sethi. Shweta Sanas. And finally, Anushka Banerjee. Audience, okay, you can go over for it now. And we have two special, Rahul, if I could ask you to wait back, please. We have two special awards for the EcoFriends of the Year, male and the female. These are basically the volunteers and the students who have worked hard. So for female, we have Amrita Nimbadkar. And for male, we have Arjun Shamli. Okay, I'll ask Rahul to come up and conclude the event, please.
Good evening to all. At EcoFriends Annual Seminar 2014. As Akash mentioned that 2013 was the most successful year. However, I have to make a similar statement now as 2014 and was even more successful for us. We had 181 successful projects and we had an amazing number of delegated members who joined us. I would like to congratulate each and everyone who has something to do with EcoFriends as it progressing over the last 6 years. At the previous seminar, we had discussed several ideas. Most of them were successfully implemented. One of them was the flash mob review. It was instrumental in creating awareness in the city. We have several successful plantation drives in Pune and Mumbai.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This evening's event has been
as a lot of hard work has been put behind the scenes. The preparations have been going on for more than a month, not only in Pune but all around. Thus, on behalf of Mr. Avinash Madala, I would like to thank those people who have been working day and night to put this event together for weeks. I would like them to come up and accept a token of acknowledgement. It's our core team. Viraj Sringatkar, Vasil Hussain, Stay voting, Divya Ghanshani, Purva Vira, Abhishek Gupta, Arjun Sharma. I would like to thank Abhishek Gupta and Arjun Sharma for making all these arrangements. Arman Dua for getting the technology in place, and Krishi Goenka for coordinating the props. And a special thanks to Kyle Mas for successfully leading this event and ensuring the overall collaboration. We would also like to acknowledge our teachers for all their support throughout the year and helping us organize the events for the respective schools. Mr. Khanujia, Mr. Kanati, Mrs. Varghese, Miss Hora, Mr. Bendre, Mrs. Daniels, Ms. Sheikh, Mrs. Khandelwal, Mrs. Borde, and Mrs. Vicky. We would like to thank the representatives from various organizations for removing time for this event, and especially the speakers for enlightening us. Big thanks to the parents and teachers for all their coordination and cooperation throughout the year. A special thanks to Mr. Fries for everything he has done for the organization throughout the years, and also to Mrs. Fries, Mr. Edwin, Mr. Bunyan, and Mr. Soghi for all their help, encouragement, and support throughout the year. We would like to thank the Estate Department of the Bishop School for arranging the hall for this evening's event. Thank you, Mr. Baron, Mr. Johns, Mr. Randhir, Mr. Manoj, Mr. Subhash, Mr. Dubey, and Mr. Jagtap. Lastly, but most significant,